Hello, everybody, and welcome here up at another podcast today. This is the BSN podcast. When I'm recording this, it is Monday, April 4th. But when this will be up on YouTube, it will be Tuesday, April 5th. As you all know, yesterday I did a pre-recorded episode. Pre-recording the episode for today, which was Monday. Got that uploaded about an hour ago, and now I'm doing another pre-record episode a little bit before the North Carolina-Kansas game gets going. That's today, getting ready for tomorrow. So this will be up tomorrow, and doing this kind of in between, like I said, with scheduling, everything like that, doing this kind of in between my schedule when I'm able to find time here. So this will be up tomorrow. When I'm doing this, it's Monday, but this will be up tomorrow. Like I said, just got done uploading my podcast that I did yesterday, Sunday night. That was up today. So a lot to get to today on the podcast. Obviously, like I said, right now when I'm doing this, we're about an hour and 25 minutes out from the start of North Carolina, Kansas. So definitely a little later for me to do one of these, but I figured get it done tomorrow. I won't have time to do one, so I figured get one done today, get it uploaded tomorrow, and be good to go, headed into Wednesday. So we're just about an hour and 25 minutes out. If you want to see my full preview, I know when this is up, the game's gonna already be over with. But if you still want to see my full preview of North Carolina, Kansas, you can go check that out. That is Monday's video, which is what I just uploaded about an hour or so ago. And like I said, a lot to get to today. Last night was a pretty frustrating night in the world of sports for me as a sport fan. I mean, the Rangers took a loss, bad one at home. I mean, a really bad one at home. It's against a Flyers team that's not very good. We all know what their strengths and weaknesses are. They're not a very good team, and for a Rangers team to come out, a team that's the team that's very good, to come out and not be able to get a win like that is extremely frustrating and something that just can't happen. And look, I mean, it was, you fall down 3-0 early and you try to climb back, and that's what happens, right? You fall down early in games. All these teams try to make these late comebacks, and it just doesn't work out that way. So you got to find a way to bounce back. Rangers will be back in action tomorrow night. When you're watching this tonight, they'll be back in action tonight. But when I'm doing this, it'll be tomorrow night. They'll be at the Prudential Center against the Devils on the road, and looking to bounce back against them, who they took a tough loss to last time. So definitely a frustrating night last night for the Rangers, and kind of one of those games where it's like, they're down, then they come back, and you're like, all right, maybe we could sneak this one out, get a nice comeback win. And then they don't do that either, and it's like, all right, this is frustrating. And, Igor right now is going through a little bit of a rough stretch, and you just got to hope that he bounces through this, gets through this, and we get to the postseason healthy and playing at a high level. So, a little bit of a frustrating night last night. As for tonight, though, when you're watching this, Yankees, Mets, Yankees wrap up spring training today, so that should be pretty good. Excited for that. We also got, like I said, Rangers, Devils, Islanders will be back in action in Dallas against the Stars, and basketball will be back on. Basketball, obviously, no games on Monday night, but we'll have games on Tuesday night. Rockets, Nets, and the Knicks will have a day off. They will be back in action on Wednesday, which they play the Nets at home at the Garden. So a lot going on within the next couple of days here. We got a little got a little Rangers Devils, got a little Knicks Nets, so some crosstown rivalry, some East Coast action coming up within the next couple days, and should be good. And opening day, Thursday, we're just a couple days away. When you're watching this video, we'll be 2 days away from opening day. When I'm recording this, we're 3 days away, just about to be 2, within the next couple hours when the clock strikes 12 to be at April 5th. So we're fired up and excited. And like I said, tonight when I'm recording this, we got North Carolina, Kansas. All right, let's get to the topics for today's podcast. Like I said, going to be a quick one. only going to be about a 20-minute video. Going to try to keep it like yesterday. Like I said, since I'm pre-recording these, I'm not going to, 45 to 50-minute videos are long for me. So I've, only been doing about 20-minute ones, and I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from them. A lot of the viewers that watch my channel have said that they've enjoyed it. So I'm going to keep doing them. And obviously, whenever I can do a longer video, I will. But, with what I'm working with here in terms of scheduling and stuff, whenever I can get a video out, it's mainly going to be short videos and kind of one-topic videos, kind of just, whatever I could, pry from the world of sports and kind of the biggest news. So, today we're going to get to the Yankees and the Mets make a trade. Something that doesn't happen often, something that hasn't happened in a very long time. But the Yankees and the Mets make a trade. Yankees send Joely Rodriguez to the New York Mets, and the Mets send Miguel Castro to the New York Yankees. So a little deal back and forth for two relievers. Joely Rodriguez obviously out of the bullpen to the Mets, and Miguel Castro, who was out of the bullpen, is now to the Yankees. So a little bit of a reliever swap, nothing major. I'm going to talk about the deal, what the Yankees are getting, what the Yankees are giving up, and also kind of just talk a little bit about the historic part of the deal, because similar to like Yankees-Red Sox trades, Yankees-Mets trade between the two crosstown rivals don't happen very often either. So we'll get to that and a little bit more as we creep closer and closer to opening day. And we'll also get to the New York Sports Update, finish it off. Like I said, Islanders against the Stars, Rangers against the Devils, Nets against the Rockets, all on Tuesday night. Alrighty, so with all that being said, this is the BSN Podcast, and let's get right into it. Alrighty, so Yankees trade for Miguel Castro, Mets land Joely Rodriguez. So the Yankees and Mets have made a trade. We are only 3 days away from opening day. When you're watching this, it's going to be only 2 days away from opening day, as opening day is Thursday, April 7th. The time I'm doing this is Tuesday, April 4th, and when this is uploaded, it will be Wednesday, the time I'm doing this is Monday, April 4th. When this is uploaded, it will be Tuesday, April 5th. So, getting closer and closer to opening day as teams start to finalize their rosters. We've been hearing a couple feel-good stories from a couple guys that are making the 28-man rosters, making the team. We saw the cool story with one of the A's pitchers. Guy was a substitute teacher. Guy was working valet parking. Was doing all that stuff. I forget what the other job was. And now he's in the MLB. Now he's made the A's roster. So you're starting to see some of the cool stories. You're starting to see some last-minute trades. You're starting to see some teams solidify their rosters as we get down to the final couple days of spring training. Spring training ends Wednesday. Wednesday's the last day. You got 2 games on Wednesday, and boom, Thursday's opening day, and that starts the 162-game sprint to the finish. So teams begin to finish out their roster, finalize their roster, make any moves that they need to make as we creep closer and closer to opening day. So the move that went down yesterday was Miguel Castro is going to the New York Yankees, and the Mets get Miguel Castro is going to the Yankees from the Mets, and the Yankees are sending Joely Rodriguez to the New York Mets. So a little trade between relievers and relievers. And like I said, for both teams, this is not a trade that's going to propel one team amongst the rest. This is not like a Josh Hader deal where Josh Hader, one of the best closers, relievers, and baseballs, going to the Mets and, whatever the Mets are giving back to the Brewers. This isn't one of those big-time deals. This isn't a major deal. This actually probably isn't even as big as news as we get from Jacob deGrom being injured, but it's still a trade, and it's a trade between the Yankees and the Mets, which we don't get often. Now, the Yankees did trade Albert Abreu to the Rangers a couple days ago. So Jose Trevino was from the Rangers. He's going to the Yankees, and the Yankees gave up Albert Abreu and Wahlstrom. So Prospect and Albert Abreu, they ended up giving up in that deal. So it was a little bit of a, little smaller deal, but the Yankees get some depth at catching, and they give up Albert Abreu. And with that deal, the Yankees did lose a piece in the bullpen. So it was something that, they lost a piece in the bullpen. So for the Yankees, and as a Yankee fan, and I actually said this on my Bubs Talking Baseball podcast every Sunday on Apple Podcasts, if you want to check that out, if you're interested, it would be greatly appreciated if you want to. You don't have to, like I said. I'm never going to force people to watch my stuff, but if you're interested, it's Bubs Talking Baseball on Apple Podcasts, and I mentioned this on my show on Sunday that the Yankees, it felt like there was still another move to be made with the bullpen because they lost Albert Abreu and they didn't get another reliever in return. So you kind of wonder, okay, are they going to bring up a guy from the minors? Are they going to sign a guy? I know they signed a guy about a week ago to a minor league deal. Was it going to be like maybe they bring him up, or were they just going to roll with the bullpen they got, kind of mix and mash a little bit, just play the waiting game of when Britton and Herman's going to come back off the IL, and kind of just play the waiting game, and once everything gets healthy and gets going, that's the bullpen you're going to roll with. Well, obviously the Yankees chose to go the different route, and they chose to make a trade. So Yankees get, Miguel Castro. They give up Joely Rodriguez. Now, they really kind of stay put because they lose a lefty in this, and they gain a righty. So Albert Abreu is a righty. So they lost Albert Abreu. Now they lose a lefty, but they gain a righty in return. So it's not like it's uneven. It's not like they lost it's not like they lost a righty and got a lefty back, or lost a lefty and got a righty back, because they obviously lost a righty and a lefty, and they're getting a righty back. So it's kind of like, kind of a balanced deal for the Yankees in terms of filling the need for their bullpen, because they obviously lost Albert Abreu. But Miguel Castro, I gotta admit, like I said, this is a depth signing for the Yankees. This isn't a deal that's gonna propel the Yankees to World Series. This isn't a deal that's gonna propel the Mets. This is a deal that it gives both teams some, bullpen depth. I think I would honestly say that Miguel Castro is probably the better option out of the bullpen than Joely Rodriguez is, and I'm gonna give you two main reasons why. Rodriguez can only get one side of the batter out. Miguel Castro can get both righties and lefties out. Joely Rodriguez cannot do that. Miguel Castro can throw more than an inning, more than a batter. You could throw Castro out there, he could give you 20, 30 pitches. Rodriguez is more of a come in a jam, need a quick out, he'll do it, boom, you move on to your next pitcher. He's more of a guy, you need 2 outs in an inning, first and second, you need a double play. Joely Rodriguez is that guy. So you're getting more of a guy that could, Castro's going to play a bigger role in terms of performance and when he's out there. He's going to pitch more innings. He's going to throw more pitches. He's going to be out there more than Joely Rodriguez is. And with all the uncertainty around the Yankees bullpen in terms of who's going to be the main guy this year, because you got to look at the Yankees bullpen and you go ahead and say, okay, Chapman was awful without the sticky stuff. Chad Green's good, not in a closer role. Jonathan Weisiger was very good last season in a closer role. You got to hope that he can continue that. You might need some of your bottom part of your bullpen to really eat up some more innings. And I think that's kind of where the Yankees were going here with this deal. Because Joely Rodriguez is a guy who could not give you much innings. I mean, he was a guy that could go out there for 5 pitches, boom, be done for the night. Miguel Castro can give you a little bit more innings, can give you 3 outs. You can rely on him to go in an inning, be okay with throwing 20 pitches and be out of there. Joely Rodriguez, on the other hand, couldn't really do that. So I actually think the Yankees, I feel like the Yankees won this deal because Joely Rodriguez is so one-dimensional. You only get lefties out, and he's not really he's not really a guy that can give you many innings. He can't give you much length. He's kind of a one-out guy. He's kind of a, first and second, boom, lefties up, let's put Joely Rodriguez in. He's not really a guy who can, his stuff's all right. I mean, he's not really a guy that can give you, he's not really giving you much. I think Castro gives you more options out of the pen than Rodriguez does. So, a little bit of depth for the Yankees, a little bit more variety. Miguel Castro can come in the 1-2 out scenarios. He could also come in and eat, an inning or 2 up for you. Rodriguez, on the other hand, was really one-dimensional, very one-dimensional. We obviously got him in the Joey Gallo trade, so it wasn't like we gave up. It wasn't like, Rodriguez was, he was kind of just the thrown-in piece of the Gallo trade, but, Rodriguez was kind of the, just to, throw him in there and, as a salary dump and let the Yankees, pick him up in the deal. But, I actually think the Yankees won this deal, and I don't think Miguel Castro is a bad player. It's a depth for both guys, and I think Castro had a very good year last year. Showed some promise in 2020, had a very good year last year, was the best year of his career, which hasn't been long so far. So, a little bit of depth, a little bit of a reliever switch by both sides, and the Yankees and the Mets making a trade, very rare. Now, I believe this is the first trade they've made since, 2004? They have made minor league deals before. They have made trades involving minor league players, but the last MLB player trade, I think, was back in 2004. Prior to that, I think they've only traded, 15 or 16 players prior to that. So the Yankees, Mets, in their history, have only traded a couple times. Not much. So a rare occurrence. It's always funny when you see these trades between crosstown rivals, because you're not used to seeing it. And whenever it does happen, it's like, all right, that's pretty surprising. That's kind of shocking. So that I did find pretty interesting. Is like whenever you see like the Yankees and Red Sox make a trade, that's like an extremely rare occurrence. Yankees, Mets make a trade, very rare occurrence. I mean, I bet you if you tally it up, how many times did the Jets and Giants make a trade? Very rarely do you see, because, it's the same city, you're in the same town. Usually if you're in the same town, you're rivalries. You don't see the Nets, Knicks making many trades, right? And the reason that is because, number one, you're rivals. You're not always going to try to, help out your rivals. Number two, for the Yankees or Red Sox sake, you're in your own division. So you don't want to have that possibility of making a trade that helps, benefits the one team to the ultimate, and then your team really hurts from it, and then that could go on and bite you in the butt for many years to come. So that's one of the factors. But number two, it's like, it's kind of the piggyback off of number one. It's like, if you trade a guy and the deal doesn't work out, and, one end, let's say the Yankees get the better end of the deal, and it's like Yankees win a World Series because of that deal. It's like, well, it's going to be the biggest what if in Mets history. What if they didn't trade this guy to the New York Yankees? So that's why, if you ever would to see a blockbuster deal, usually it's not with two crosstown rival teams. Usually when you see deals, or when you see deals from crosstown rivals, or you see deals from rivalry teams, it's usually small ones like this. Because it's a low risk deal. It's like neither side's really going to have a massive change from it. It's not like you're seeing, this big blockbuster deal. You also see guys that are free agents. Like, I'm sure if Judge becomes a free agent, Yankees are going to try to do whatever they can to make sure that he doesn't go crosstown to the Mets. Because I'm telling you what, if he becomes a free agent, I'm sure Steve Cohen will be looking at him, no doubt. Steve Cohen looks at anybody. That guy's got money for days. So, anyway, let's read this quick article and wrap up the podcast here. So, Yankees trade for Miguel Castro, Mets land Joely Rodriguez. New York Yankees and New York Mets have swapped relievers before the start of the 2022 Major League Baseball season. The Yankees announced Sunday they will receive Miguel Castro from the Mets in exchange for Joely Rodriguez. The Mets were set to enter the regular season with a right-hand heavy bullpen, Chasen Shreve and Alex Claudio, both non-roster invitees to spring training, were their only potential lefty relief options before the deal. Rodriguez gives manager Buck Showalter a lefty matchup reliever to utilize. The 30-year-old left-handed hitters to a 203, held left-handed hitters to a 203, 288, 271 slash time with one homer and 59 at-bats last season. Like I said, very good left-handed. But when it comes to right-hand, he stinks. Last season, only limited to getting lefties out. Right-handed batters plummeted him. Right-handed batters last season against Joely Rodriguez. 339 batting average, an on-base percentage of 380, and a 4.46. That's his slash line. 339, 380, 446. Now, to lefties, 203, 288, 271. Complete polar opposites when it comes down to one side of the plate for Joely Rodriguez. Slash line in 2021. Edwin Diaz, Trevor May, Adam Ottavino, Seth Lugo are more than capable of keeping righties at bay. Castro has turned into a reliable middle reliever after a rough start to his career. The Dominican native had a 6.12 ERA in 37 appearances with the Blue Jays and Rockies from 2015-2016. Like I said, he was not very good, but when he hit to the Mets, he was better. Since the start of the 2017 season, Castro has posted a 3.93 ERA in 262 appearances with the Mets and Baltimore Orioles. He has thrown at least 70 innings in each of the last 3 full seasons, not counting the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic shortened year. Castro allowed as few hits per 9, 6.1, and had his most strikeouts in a single season, 77, during the 2021 campaign with the Mets. Yankees manager Aaron Boone will be able to slot Castro into a multi-inning relief role. He could also use him as a setup man on certain days if he wants to give his other arms a day off during the season. So, like I said, Mets is kind of a win-win for both sides. I think the Yankees get a little bit better end of the deal just because he's more reliable. He's just a lot more. You can do a lot more with Miguel Castro. You looked at the numbers with Joely Rodriguez, and this was one of the issues last year. He stunk against lefties, or stunk against righties. Dominant against lefties, but was terrible against righties. Castro can get both sides out. He can give you a little bit more options. Like, you're not going to throw Joely Rodriguez out there in a setup role. He's not a multi-inning guy. Castro gives you a little bit more flexibility in the bullpen. So, Yankees Mets swap relievers, a rare trade for the crosstown rivals, and as we get closer and closer to the season, all the teams around the league continue to finalize their rosters. Alrighty, so let's get to the action tonight here on Monday night. In baseball, you got more baseball, and Yankees will be home against the Tigers, final game of spring training, and the Mets will be at the Nationals. So those will be the two games for the Yankees and Mets on Monday. NHL, got a couple games on, got a good amount actually. You'll have the Penguins, Avalanche, I'll take the Penguins. Flyers, Blue Jackets, I'll take the Flyers. Sabres, Hurricanes, I'll take the Hurricanes. Maple Leafs, Panthers, I'll take the Panthers. Senators, Canadians, I'll take the Canadians. Red Wings, Bruins, I'll take the Bruins. Predators, Wild, I'll take the Wild. Stars, Isles, I'll take the Stars. And Sharks, Oilers, I'll take the Oilers. Rangers, Devils, I'll take the Rangers. Rangers are 44-20-6. Devils are 24-39-6. Over-under is set at 6. 7 p.m. Eastern on MSG +2. And, yeah. NBA, Sixers, Pacers, I'll take the Sixers. Cavs, Magic, I'll take the Cavs. Hawks, Raptors, I'll take the Hawks. Hornets, Heat, I'll take the Heat. Bulls, Bucks, I'll take the Bucks. Thunder, Trailblazers, I'll take the Thunder. Wizards, Timberwolves, I'll take the Timberwolves. Jazz, Grizzlies, I'll take the Grizzlies. Nuggets, Spurs, I'll take the Nuggets. Kings, Pelicans, I'll take the Pelicans. Suns, Lakers, I'll take the Suns. Nets, Rockets. Nets come into this game 40-38. Rockets are one of the bottom of the league at 20-59. They're tied for the worst record in the league. Magic are 20-59. Rockets are 20-59. Magic 6-game losing streak. Rockets 6-game losing streak. So neither of those seasons, neither of those teams having very good years. Nets come into this one 17.5 point favorites. The over-under set at 243. This game goes on 7:30 p.m. Eastern on yes. I'll take the Nets. Like I said, when I'm recording this on Tuesday, there's no basketball on. But tomorrow, by the way, I'm currently losing 1,498 to 1,396. But tomorrow, I'll have my whole roster going. Donovan Mitchell, Buddy Hield, Miles Bridges, Brandon Ingram, Nikola Jokic, Darius Garland, Kelly Oubre Jr., Tyrese Maxey, Desmond Bane, and Andre Drummond. Morant and John Collins are on my bench just because they're injured. I'll keep following them to see if they'll come back. Then I'll slot them into the rotation, but that's kind of what I'm rolling with right now. In fantasy baseball, a couple days away from starting up my first matchup of the season, and hopefully this year, like I said, got second place last year, hoping for a first place finish this season. So, we'll see. Now, my league always sends out the power rankings after every week. So, to start the season last year, and I looked back on this, I was 8th last year before the season started on the power rankings. This season, I'm number 4 to start the season. So, obviously, from what the stats show, I have a better team that I drafted than I did last season. So you just gotta hope that that better team, goes up a little bit. Hopefully that number 4 turns into the number 1 at the end of the season. So anyway, that will do it for today's podcast. As always, another good one. Pre-recorded one, like I said, but this will be uploaded tomorrow. So when you're watching this, it will be Tuesday. When I'm doing this, it will be Monday. So gonna hop off and get ready about an hour. 8:19 Eastern right now. So about an hour and about an hour and about a minute, less than a minute. So just about an hour now. It'll be Kansas. It'll be North Carolina, Kansas. Fired up for that one. I got North Carolina winning. I'm rooting for North Carolina. And we'll see how it all plays out. So that will do it for today's podcast. As always, I will see you all back here tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed it. And thanks for watching.